Hello everybody, it's a glorious day here on the outskirts of Istanbul, and as you can see I'm back in the home office. There's masses to do this week, but before getting into that I thought I would make you today's video. And a very curious thing happened yesterday on Jordan Belfort's Straight Line Persuasion group. Somebody posted a question, and it's kind of central to the theme of the family business book. Now, the question that was posted was, what do you do if your wife or partner doesn't appreciate all the time and effort you're putting into your business and kind of is calling you out on it? Now, those aren't the exact words, and a very curious thing happened. This morning I went to access the post which I'd commented on yesterday, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I checked all my feeds and everything else, and it appears like, poof, the whole post has disappeared from Jordan Belfort's Straight Line Persuasion forum. However, it's a really, really good question. And the reason it's a good question is quite simply that and you could do this, if you go and look for things like sources of business failure on the internet, you Google for it, you're going to come up with things like cash flow problems, failure to meet government requirements and standards, lack of capitalization. You probably won't find things like lack of creativity, which is what most or many people think is what floors a home business. And you won't find things like lack of a good idea, which is another thing that seems to floor would-be entrepreneurs. But those are the kind of main things you'll find if you do a search. However, if you search for sources of failure in family business, one of the key things that comes up is lack of support from the rest of the family. And that's because people that specialize in family business are different from the people that are generalists and specialize in things like PLCs and partnerships and other kinds of business. And those specialists tend to be either lawyers or bankers or accountants. So they have a kind of bias towards things that lawyers, bankers and accountants know about. Family business consultants could have a root in that kind of world, but after that they've taken some kind of supplementary training or they've drifted into family business consulting. I came the other way. I was originally a family therapist, and I got pulled into business when people would say, well, can you do for my business what you've managed to do for my family? And so that's how I got into business. Of course, I was running my own business at the time because I was an independent consultant, and so the two things merged. And as I learned more and more about business, after years of learning how to do things with families, to cause families to change, then I had a kind of winning combination. Anyway, enough about me. Let's move this a little bit forward. So, if not having the support of your wife or partner, if you're a woman, is one of the things that undermines your business, what can you do about it? Well, if you're having to ask that question, probably you're going to have to do some remedial work. If you're not asking that question, it probably means that either you've done the right things or you're not far along the process of starting your business, and that's probably the best position from which to start. What you need to be doing is right from the outset, meeting with your spouse, telling them that you're thinking of starting a business and finding out what their aspirations are, both personally and for your family, because really your business has to meet those aspirations. Only if you do that will you run your business in line with family values. And when you're running your business in line with the values that you hold as a family, then you'll find it's much, much easier for your partner to be happy at the time you're putting into work. And furthermore, you probably won't dig yourself a black hole in which you retire to your den or outside office somewhere to work on your business and avoid your spouse, because that's one of the things that can happen with a family business. It can be a refuge from tension within the family. Now, on the original thread, some people put some kind of, I think, as they wrote them, rather trite comments, which was, get another wife. There are plenty more fish in the sea. And actually, these comments are not as trite as they may seem, because over time we all grow and we all change, and the needs that we have when we were in our teens or 20s may not be the same as when we're in our 40s and 50s. And sometimes one person gains more and more experience and the other one stays where they are with the original aspirations. And if any of you have watched Jordan Belfort, or the film about Jordan Belfort called The Wolf of Wall Street, you'll know that in the beginning he was married to a hairdresser who was very, very supportive of him in his work, and he was a young man struggling to make his way in the world. He was actually into kind of sales and survival, really, rather than attempting to create a major financial entity. He went to work for a major financial entity, and that worked reasonably well for him until he had a breakthrough and founded Stratton Oakmont. And as Stratton Oakmont grew, he kind of began to lose contact with his wife. And there's many, many reasons for that, of course. Some people will put it down to pressures of work, and others will put it down to the fact that he was taking lots of quaaludes and other illegal substances. But nevertheless, he lost contact with her, and then pretty soon we went through a whole kind of period of debauchery, and finally he married somebody else who ditched him when he got into trouble with the law. Now, Jordan's not been like that for over a decade now. He's been absolutely clean of drugs. He's served his time in prison, and I've really learned a great deal from studying both his story and his work. And today he's married for the third time, and he's devoted to his wife and his children, and we see a very different, much more balanced kind of figure than when Jordan Belfort was the Wolf of Wall Street. So, just to sum this up, if you're having difficulties with your spouse because they don't understand what you're doing, then first of all, I would recommend you go to www.thefamilybusinessbook.com and get yourself a copy, because we cover a lot of how to deal with this in the first chapter and to some extent in subsequent chapters, and it will really help you to get beyond this kind of hurdle. But if you don't feel that you have the time to do this, then I would say find out what your spouse's aspirations are in life and for the family, and see how you can then create those values within your business. I've found that, and I've worked with people that have turnovers in millions of pounds and dollars, and I've found that those people who devote half of their time to keeping their family values on track as they grow their business actually run more effective and efficient businesses. So I think this is the way to go forward. Anyway, I'm not going to say any more about this today because I've got quite a lot to do, and I'll be back very soon, if not tomorrow, with another episode from the Family Business Book. Okay, have a good day, have a good week. Stephen, over and out.
If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to share your thoughts with other family business owners in the comments section below. You can also respond to thoughts posted by other viewers. Remember to like and share the video and subscribe to this channel. To be sure to receive notifications, you must also click the bell icon at the top right-hand corner of the YouTube page.